Have you ever believed that the very things you thought were good for the brain might actually be silently pushing you toward the risk of a stroke in your sleep? It sounds unbelievable, but this reality has left countless families in shock and panic in the middle of the night. Picture this. It's evening. You're sitting in your familiar armchair, reading glasses perched on your nose. Your grandchild leans in, wide-eyed, eagerly listening to the bedtime story you're reading aloud. Suddenly, your voice catches. No sound comes out. The book slips from your hand, hitting the floor with a heavy thud. The hand that once stroked your grandchild's hair hangs limp, too heavy to lift. The child stares at you in confusion, while you sit helpless in the grip of a silent storm. This is not a scene from a movie. It's the reality neurologists witness all too often in hospitals. Older adults who lived carefully, ate clean, exercised regularly, yet still collapsed without warning because their brains weren't being properly protected. And so the question arises, why does this happen? The truth is, as we age, the body no longer works the way it once did. What you eat, drink, and how you live each day can actually backfire if the brain isn't getting the right kind of nourishment. Aging reduces the body's ability to absorb and process nutrients, leaving the brain without the fuel it needs for memory and focus. Medications for heart disease, high blood pressure, or diabetes, though necessary, can quietly drain key vitamins and minerals the brain depends on. Overdoing health or making sudden changes can also backfire. For example, cutting out fat completely to protect your heart might strip away the essential fatty acids your neurons need to function. And at night, when you're asleep, your body is not standing still. Blood pressure can suddenly drop, hormones fluctuate, or tiny clots can form and move through the vessels. Even a small deficiency in certain nutrients may leave the brain defenseless, triggering sudden crises. The issue isn't simply about whether you live a healthy lifestyle. It's that the brain requires specific protective nutrients. Without these shields, even the most disciplined lifestyle may not prevent the risk. The good news is that science has identified several essential nutrients, vitamins and minerals proven to protect neurons, sharpen memory, and keep the brain alert and resilient. It's not just about taking supplements, but also about choosing the right foods at the right time, in the right amounts, so the brain can thrive. In the minutes ahead, we'll explore 5 golden nutrients for the brain, backed by modern medical research. This won't be a dry list, but a journey to answer the question: how can you preserve memory, sharpen focus, and defend yourself against hidden neurological risks? And you may be surprised to discover that the very things you once overlooked could be the keys to protecting your brain for years to come. If we had to choose just one nutrient as the foundation for brain health, omega-3s would be the very first brick. You might be surprised to learn that nearly 60% of the brain's mass is fat, and the most critical type of fat among them is omega-3 fatty acids. Without them, neurons are like electrical wires with frayed insulation. Signals become erratic, weak, and prone to breakdown. Here's the catch: your body cannot produce omega-3s on its own. Every ounce of this vital fat must come from food or supplements. That's why many neurologists call omega-3 the raw material that builds the brain's protective walls. Without it, every other effort you make for brain health becomes far less effective. The benefits of omega-3 for the brain decades of research confirm this. Omega-3s sharpen memory, improve focus, and slow the progression of cognitive decline in older adults. One study published in JAMA revealed that seniors who supplemented with omega-3s had a 40% lower risk of dementia compared to those who did not. But the benefits don't stop at memory. Omega-3s act as natural anti-inflammatories for the brain. When silent inflammation smolders within brain tissue, it sets the stage for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and other neurological disorders. Omega-3s help put out that fire before it spreads. Even your mood depends on them. People with adequate omega-3 levels are less likely to struggle with depression and anxiety. Clinical trials even show that omega-3 supplements can significantly improve symptoms in depressed patients, sometimes with results rivaling antidepressant medications, but without the unpleasant side effects. Signs you may be deficient: frequent forgetfulness over small details, mood swings, or irritability. Difficulty focusing at work or during conversations. Mental fatigue that lingers throughout the day. For older adults, these signs become even clearer. Slower reflexes, less flexible memory, and a constant sense of mental exhaustion. The dangers of long-term deficiency. A prolonged lack of omega-3 doesn't just cloud your memory. It increases your risk for serious neurological diseases. Chronic brain inflammation, widely considered a root cause of Alzheimer's and dementia, has been directly linked to omega-3 deficiency. Some studies even connect low omega-3 intake with a higher likelihood of stroke. How much do you need? Experts recommend 250-500 mg of EPA plus DHA per day for adults. Instead of rushing to pills, start with food. Eat fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, or sardines 2 to 3 times a week. For those who dislike fish, chia seeds, flax seeds, and walnuts provide ALA, a plant-based omega-3. But keep in mind, your body must convert ALA into EPA and DHA, and this conversion becomes less efficient with age. That's why for seniors, fish oil or algae oil supplements, perfect for vegetarians, are often safer and more effective choices. Safety notes: omega-3s are generally very safe. But if you take blood thinners, are preparing for surgery, or have bleeding disorders, consult your doctor first. Excessive supplementation beyond recommended doses may cause digestive discomfort or throw off the balance of other fats in your body. A simple takeaway: think of omega-3s as the brain's quiet guardian. If you're over 50, intentionally adding fatty fish to your meals or considering a quality supplement is like putting up a safety net for your memory. Because memory isn't just about performing well today, it's about being able to sit with your grandchild tomorrow, reading stories with a steady voice, uninterrupted by forgetfulness. Key point: omega-3s aren't a miracle cure. They are the foundation. When the brain is properly nourished, every other step you take toward health finally has a chance to matter. If omega-3s are the bricks that build your brain's walls, vitamin D is the light that keeps that house from falling into darkness. People call it the sunshine vitamin. Yet here's the paradox: the older you get, the harder it is for your body to absorb and produce it from sunlight. That's why vitamin D is one of the nutrients seniors are most likely to be deficient in, and one of the silent culprits behind memory problems and poor focus. Why vitamin D matters for the brain. Most people think of vitamin D only in terms of bones or immunity, but in reality, it has a direct hand in brain function. It helps regulate hundreds of genes, including those that protect neurons and support memory formation. In many ways, vitamin D is like the conductor of your brain's orchestra. Without it, the music falls out of rhythm. Research shows a stark truth. Seniors with vitamin D deficiency have a 60% higher risk of dementia compared to those with adequate levels. That statistic alone reveals the weight of living in a brain without sunlight. The benefits of getting enough vitamin D. When vitamin D levels are optimal, memory sharpens, focus improves, and mood stabilizes. That's because vitamin D doesn't just protect neurons. It's tied to serotonin, the neurotransmitter that creates feelings of calm and happiness. Ever notice how gloomy days seem to drag your mood down? For seniors, long-term deficiency can transform those fleeting blues into real anxiety or depression. Signs of deficiency. The symptoms aren't always obvious, but common red flags include frequent forgetfulness or trouble recalling small details, persistent fatigue, low energy, mood swings, irritability, or feeling down for no clear reason. Shallow sleep, waking often during the night. These issues are often dismissed as just aging, when in reality, your brain may simply be craving vitamin D. The risks of long-term deficiency. Without enough vitamin D, your risk of dementia and cognitive decline skyrockets. Studies also show a link to Alzheimer's disease. Beyond memory loss, low vitamin D can worsen mood disorders, impair concentration, and disrupt already fragile sleep in older adults. How much you need and where to get it. Most adults need 600-800 IU daily. But after age 65, experts recommend closer to 1,000 to 2,000 IU to protect both brain and bone health. You can raise your vitamin D by sunlight, 15 to 20 minutes of morning sun, 3 to 4 times a week, with bare skin exposed, no glass, no heavy sunscreen during that short time. Food sources: fatty fish, eggs, fortified milk, and mushrooms. Supplements, especially for those who rarely go outdoors or follow a restrictive diet. Safety notes: vitamin D is essential, but too much can be harmful. High doses may cause elevated calcium, kidney stones, or kidney damage. If you're considering high-dose supplements, ask your doctor and consider a simple blood test to check your vitamin D levels. Those on osteoporosis medication or blood pressure drugs should be especially cautious. A friendly reminder: think of vitamin D as sunlight made for the brain. Something as simple as stepping outside for a 15-minute walk in the morning not only warms your joints, but also strengthens your memory. And if sunshine isn't available, one small supplement may be the key to keeping your mind sharp and your mood lifted. Bottom line, vitamin D may seem small, but it is the brain's foundation of light. With enough of it, you'll not only remember better and focus longer, but also feel calmer, brighter, and more at peace each day. If omega-3s are the bricks that build neurons, and vitamin D is the sunlight that keeps the brain alive, then vitamin C is the anti-rust shield, protecting it. The brain runs non-stop, consuming nearly 20% of the body's oxygen, and that workload produces free radicals, tiny sparks that can damage delicate neurons. Vitamin C is the firefighter, putting out those sparks before they turn into wildfires. Why vitamin C matters: unlike many animals, humans cannot make vitamin C on their own. Every bit of it must come from food or supplements. That's why, even if you think your diet is healthy, you could still be running low. Vitamin C plays a vital role in protecting neurons, producing key neurotransmitters, and keeping the nervous system stable. In fact, A study in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that seniors who supplemented with vitamin C had a significantly lower rate of severe cognitive decline. Benefits of having enough vitamin C, powerful antioxidant, protects the brain from free radical damage. Memory support. Higher blood levels of vitamin C are linked to better recall. Stress buffer helps lower cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. Even in teenagers, research shows vitamin C supplementation reduces anxiety and improves focus. For older adults, this effect is even more valuable, since chronic stress, poor sleep, and anxiety accelerate brain aging. Signs of deficiency. Vitamin C deficiency isn't just about catching colds easily. It can show up in the brain and nervous system too. Memory slips and difficulty concentrating, mood swings or irritability, persistent fatigue or exhaustion, slow wound healing, skin bruising easily. In seniors, these signs are often dismissed as just aging, but in reality, they may be the brain's way of crying out, "I need vitamin C." The dangers of long-term deficiency. Without vitamin C, neurons are left vulnerable to oxidative damage. It's like leaving an old wooden house exposed to years of rain, without paint rust and rot eventually set in. Over time, this deficiency raises the risk of memory loss, Alzheimer's disease, and even psychiatric issues. Daily needs and natural sources. Adults generally need 75 to 90 milligrams of vitamin C daily, though smokers and seniors may need more. The good news, it's everywhere. Fruits, oranges, grapefruits, kiwis, strawberries, vegetables, bell peppers, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. Simple habits: enjoy fresh fruit after meals, or pile more greens onto your plate. Supplements can help if your diet falls short. A moderate dose of 500 to 1,000 milliliters and basta, split throughout the day, improves absorption. Safety notes: vitamin C is safe, but high doses above 2,000 megahertz a day can trigger diarrhea, kidney stones, or stomach upset. People with a history of oxalate kidney stones should be extra cautious. As always, the closer you get your vitamin C from fresh fruits and vegetables, the better. A friendly reminder: picture your brain as a beloved old wooden home. Every day it faces wind, sun, and rain. Vitamin C is the protective coat of paint, keeping cracks from turning into real damage. A morning glass of orange juice, a plate of greens at dinner. These simple choices are how you give your brain a shield, day after day. Bottom line, vitamin C is not just about preventing colds. It is about preserving your memory, your focus, and the clarity of your mind as the years go by. If the brain is the command center of the body, then magnesium is the silent current that keeps the system running smoothly. It doesn't grab headlines like vitamin C or omega-3s, but without it, the entire nervous system flickers, sometimes overloading, sometimes shutting down. Why magnesium matters for the brain: magnesium is involved in more than 300 biochemical reactions in the body, most of which directly affect the brain and nervous system. It converts food into energy, stabilizes neuron cell membranes, and regulates the transmission of signals between brain cells. Think of neurons as electrical wires. Magnesium is like the voltage stabilizer that keeps the current steady, not too strong to burn the wires, not too weak to lose connection. Benefits of adequate magnesium. Sharper learning and memory. A study in Neuron showed that magnesium boosts synaptic plasticity, the brain's ability to learn and store new information. Calmer moods. Magnesium is needed to produce GABA, the neurotransmitter that relaxes the nervous system. Without it, anxiety, restlessness, and insomnia become more likely. Relief from headaches. Several studies report that magnesium supplementation reduces the frequency of migraines, a problem common in both young and older adults. Signs of magnesium deficiency. Magnesium deficiency often hides in plain sight, showing up as frequent anxiety or unstable mood, insomnia or restless sleep, recurring headaches or migraines, muscle twitches or cramps, trouble concentrating and remembering things. In children, low magnesium is linked to ADHD, while in older adults, it worsens memory decline. The risks of long-term deficiency. Without enough magnesium, the brain slips into a state of electrical overload. Neurons become stressed, and the nervous system loses balance. Over time, this raises the risk of depression, chronic anxiety, and even dementia. Research also links magnesium deficiency to higher risks of stroke and heart disease because the brain and blood vessels are inseparable. How much you need and natural sources. Adults need about 10–420 milligrams of magnesium per day, depending on age and gender. Thankfully, you can get there naturally. Leafy greens, spinach, kale nuts, and whole grains, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, almonds, beans and seafood, black beans, shrimp, crab. If diet alone isn't enough, supplements can help. Magnesium citrate and glycinate are absorbed better than magnesium oxide. Safety notes. Too much magnesium can backfire, causing diarrhea, stomach pain, or even irregular heartbeat. Those with kidney disease need to be especially cautious since their bodies can't clear excess magnesium easily. And if you're taking blood pressure meds, diuretics, or antibiotics, consult your doctor before supplementing to avoid unwanted interactions. A practical tip: keep a small jar of nuts like almonds, pumpkin seeds, or flax seeds on your desk. Whenever stress builds, grab a handful instead of coffee or sweets. You'll be calming your nerves while feeding your neurons. At dinner, try a spinach soup or green salad with avocado slices. Simple choices that act like a natural voltage stabilizer, helping you sleep deeper and wake up sharper. Bottom line, magnesium is like the hidden current in your brain, not flashy, but essential. With enough of it, your thoughts flow smoothly, your mood stays steady, and your memories remain firmly anchored. If omega-3s are the bricks, vitamin D the sunlight, vitamin C the protective coat of paint, and magnesium the steady current, then the B vitamins are the silent crew working behind the scenes, constantly repairing, replacing, and ensuring the brain's machinery never stops running. Without this crew, even the most beautiful house will eventually crumble. Why B vitamins matter for the brain? The B family is large, but when it comes to brain health, two standouts are vitamin B6 and vitamin B12. Vitamin B6 is crucial for producing GABA and serotonin, the neurotransmitters that regulate mood, sleep, and focus. Vitamin B12 is needed for red blood cell production and for myelin, the insulating sheath around neurons that allows signals to travel fast and smoothly. Without them, neurons are like exposed wires, prone to short circuits and weak connections. Benefits of adequate B vitamins: sharper memory and cognition. A study in JAMA showed that B6, B12, and folic acid supplementation slowed brain atrophy in older adults, directly reducing Alzheimer's risk. Better mood balance. B vitamins fuel serotonin and dopamine, the happiness chemicals. People with healthy levels are less likely to suffer depression or anxiety. Steady brain energy. B vitamins convert food into energy, giving the brain the fuel it needs for long periods of focus. Signs of B vitamin deficiency. Deficiency often shows up in both physical and mental ways: forgetfulness or trouble concentrating, tingling or numbness in hands and feet, chronic fatigue and low vitality, mood swings, anxiety or depression, a red, sore tongue, and poor appetite, older adults, vegetarians, and people with stomach issues, which reduce absorption, are at highest risk for B12 deficiency. Long-term risks of deficiency. One of the most serious consequences of low B12 is early-onset dementia. Studies show that prolonged deficiency can cause irreversible brain shrinkage and nerve damage. With B6, deficiency means the brain lacks raw material for neurotransmitters. This can lead to a vicious cycle of insomnia, anxiety, and worsening memory. In short, without the B team, you lose all three pillars: memory, mood, and energy. Dosage and natural sources needs vary by age and gender, but on average, B6, 1.3 to 2 mg day, B12, 2.4 mg day. Best sources include B6, chicken, fish, bananas, potatoes, B12, fish, eggs, dairy, lean red meat. Vegetarians, take note. Most rich sources of B12 come from animal products, so fortified foods, like breakfast cereals or supplements, are essential. Safety notes. Seniors, people with chronic stomach issues, like gastritis or low stomach acid, or those who've had GI surgery, should check B12 levels regularly and supplement if needed. B vitamins are water-soluble, so they're generally safe, but extremely high doses can cause itching, digestive upset, or peripheral nerve problems with excess B6. Always prioritize food first. Use supplements only when necessary and under medical guidance. A practical tip. Think of the B vitamins as your brain's maintenance crew, unseen but essential. A simple breakfast of a boiled egg, whole grain toast, and a banana can provide enough B6 and B12 to kickstart your brain for the day. If you're vegetarian, don't skip fortified cereals or B12 tablets. A tiny deficiency today could one day be the reason you struggle to recall your grandchild's name. Bottom line, B vitamins aren't a miracle cure, but they're the foundation that keeps your memory, mood, and mental energy intact. With enough of them, your brain runs like a well-maintained machine, steady, resilient, and fully equipped to hold on to life's most precious moments. We've just taken a journey through the 5 golden nutrients for the brain: omega-3 as the bricks, vitamin D as the sunlight, vitamin C as the protective coat, magnesium as the steady current, and the B vitamins as the tireless repair crew. Each plays its own role, but together they build a strong house of memory, shielding you from the silent erosion of aging and disease. The core message. The most important thing to remember is this: there is no magic pill that can replace a healthy lifestyle. These nutrients are powerful tools, but they only work when paired with balanced eating, consistent sleep, and regular movement. A fish oil capsule won't save your brain if you stay up late, eat erratically, and live under constant stress. Think of your brain as a garden. Omega-3 is the fertile soil. Vitamin D is the sunlight. Vitamin C is the protective layer against pests. Magnesium is the water flowing through. The B vitamins are the gardener's hands tending every corner. If any of these is missing, the garden withers. But when all are present, your memory, focus, and mood bloom like a year-round flower field. Personalizing it. Of course, results depend on age, health conditions, and even genetics. Some people may improve simply by adjusting their diet, while others may need extra supplementation. That's why consulting your doctor before starting any regimen is crucial especially if you're managing chronic conditions like heart disease, diabetes, or high blood pressure. Gentle guidance. If this list feels overwhelming, don't worry. You don't need to change everything overnight. Start small. Add 1 serving of fish each week. Take 15 minutes of morning sunlight. Eat an orange or kiwi daily, or simply keep a jar of nuts on your desk. These small, consistent steps, built up over years, create a powerful shield for your memory and clarity. A thought for you. Now, ask yourself, which of these 5 nutrients might you be missing most? Omega-3 from fish, vitamin D from sunlight, or B12 if you follow a vegetarian diet? Share your experience and your story, because your journey might inspire someone else. And remember, memory isn't just about working efficiently. It's the thread that ties you to your family, your past, and your very identity. Protecting your memory today means protecting tomorrow's warmest moments, when you can still read a full bedtime story to your grandchild without stumbling over forgotten words. Finally, if you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to join us on this journey of brain and overall health. By doing so, you also help spread the message. Keeping your brain clear and sharp means keeping life full of color and meaning.